We all know that fire can be destructive.
We're right in the thick of it. This is Highway 63.
There's a wrench cut there on top of your screen, LA County firefighter.
We're getting a 360. I will get it
Sitting in my office on a shelf where dust settles as the twisted remains of a once prized possession. It used to be a beautiful teacup and saucer displayed on some sort of metal rack. The rack is unrecognizable now because the whole thing is melted and twisted together. A conglomerate of glass and metal and ash. When the fire raged through Greenville, California, it didn't spare family heirlooms or even families. It raged and ripped and tore and melted. I've seen the destruction of wildfire firsthand, so it's hard for me to imagine that there might be something that comes from fire that is not destructive. I heard a story once about a couple that ran their vehicle off the side of a road in a blizzard. They were stuck in a ditch and no one would be by to help them until the next day. They had no warm clothes and they were almost out of gas. Miles from the nearest warm place, they decided to stay with the car. The one thing they had in the glove compartment was an old candle and a box of matches. For the next 4 or 5 hours, their teeth chattered as they huddled together around the single flame. The temperature dropped into the single digits outside, but they warmed their hands, even just a tiny bit, by that flickering light. The light was enough to sustain them and to warm their spirits. That little candle, he would tell me later, felt like it saved our lives. Fire can be destructive and bring death, or it can restore and bring life. 2,000 years ago, there was a wildfire. It started in the dry hills of Judea. It was on one particular hill called Golgotha that the flame was sparked. A man was crucified and buried. It seemed like the fire had been quenched. But in reality, that man's death would spark wildfire like the world has never seen. The fire would leap from person to person, home to home, country to country, continent to continent. That fire would be the undoing of civilizations. It would melt hearts. It would refine and define humanity. The world would never be the same after the Spirit of God fell like fire on the earth, and it is still falling today.